The Kennedy Center Honors is an annual honor given to those in the performing arts for the lifetime of contributions to American culture. The honors have been presented annually since 1978, culminating each December in a star-studded gala celebrating the honorees in the Kennedy Center Opera House. History. George Stevens, Jr., created the Kennedy Center Honors with the late Nick Van Nopp, and produced the first gala in 1978. He was the producer and co-writer through the 2014 awards, after which he sold the production rights to the Kennedy Center. The Kennedy Center Honors started in 1977, after that year's 10th anniversary White House reception and Kennedy Center program for the American Film Institute. Roger L. Stevens, the founding chairman of the Kennedy Center, asked George Stevens, Jr., the founding director of the AFI, to hold an event for the center. George Stevens asked Isaac Stern to become involved, and then pitched the idea to the television network CBS, who bought it. With the announcement of the first honors event and honorees, CBS Vice President for Specials Bernie Sofronsky stated, "George came to us with this. What turned us on is that this is the only show of its kind. In Europe and most countries, they have ways of honoring their actors and their athletes. England has its command performances for the Queen. We see this as a national honoring of people who have contributed to society, not someone who happens to have a pop record hit at the moment. Our intention is not to do just another award show. We're going to make an effort in terms of a real special." The first host was Leonard Bernstein in 1978, followed by Eric Severiad in 1979 and Beverly Sills in 1980. Walter Cronkite hosted from 1981 to 2002 and Caroline Kennedy hosted from 2003 until 2012. Glenn Close was host in 2013 and Stephen Colbert hosted in 2014 and 2015. Ricky Kirshner and Glenn Weiss of White Cherry Entertainment were selected as executive producers of the 38th Annual Kennedy Center Honors after George Stevens, Jr. stepped down. This is one of the few awards shows that does not air live, but a re-edited 92-minute version generally airs on CBS after the Christmas holiday. Selection process. Honorary recommendations are accepted from the general public, and the Kennedy Center initiated a special honors advisory committee, which comprises 2 members of the Board of Trustees as well as past honorees and distinguished artists. The Executive Committee of the Board of Trustees selects the honorary recipients based on excellence in music, dance, theater, opera, motion pictures or television. The events. The invitation-only weekend-long ceremony includes the Chairman's Luncheon, State Department dinner, White House reception and the Honors Gala performances and supper. Surrounded by the honorees, the luncheon is held on Saturday at the Kennedy Center, with a welcoming speech by the Chairman of the Board of Trustees. At that evening's reception and dinner at the State Department, presided over by the Secretary of State, the honorees are introduced and the honors medallions are presented by the Chairman of the Board. The wide rainbow-colored ribbon then hung around the necks of the recipients, and prominently noticeable when the events are televised, symbolizes a spectrum of many skills within the performing arts, according to creator Ivan Chermayev. On Sunday, there is an early evening White House reception hosted by the President of the United States and the First Lady, followed by the Honors Gala performance at the Kennedy Center and supper. For the 2015 gala performance, President Barack Obama did attend, after addressing the nation in a live telecast. There have been 3 occasions where the President did not attend the gala performances. President Jimmy Carter did not attend the December 1979 gala performance during the hostage crisis. President George Bush did not attend in December 1989 and President Bill Clinton did not attend in 1994. Recipients. There have been 200 recipients to date of the Kennedy Center Honors Awards during the Honors' 38 years. The vast majority have been bestowed on individuals. On 10 occasions since 1985, awards have been presented to duos or groups, including 3 married couples. Lyricist Alan J. Lerner and composer Frederick Lowe, actors Hume Cronin and Jessica Tandy, musical comedy duo Betty Comden and Adolph Green, dancers Falyard Nicholas and Harold Nicholas, actors Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward, songwriters John Kander and Fred Ebb, actors Ossie Davis and Ruby Dee, musicians Pete Townshend and Roger Daltrey of The Who and the members of Led Zeppelin and the Eagles. 1970s–1978, Marian Anderson, Fred Astaire, George Balanchine, Richard Rodgers, and Arthur Rubinstein. 1979, Aaron Copland, Ella Fitzgerald, Henry Fonda, Martha Graham, and Tennessee Williams. 1980s–1980, Leonard Bernstein, James Cagney, Agnes de Mille, Lynn Fontanne, and Leontine Price. 1981, Count Basie, Cary Grant, Helen Hayes, Jerome Robbins, and Rudolph Serkin. 1982, George Abbott, Lillian Gish, Benny Goodman, Gene Kelly, and Eugene Ormandy. 1983, Katherine Dunham, Elie Kazan, Frank Sinatra, James Stewart, and Virgil Thomson. 1984, Lena Horne, Danny Kaye, Giancarlo Menotti, Arthur Miller, and Isaac Stern. 1985, Merce Cunningham, Irene Dunn, Bob Hope, Alan J. Lerner and AMP, Frederick Lowe, and Beverly Sills. 1986, Lucille Ball, Ray Charles, Hume Cronin and AMP, Jessica Tandy, Yehudi Menuhin, and Anthony Tudor. 1987, Perry Como, Bette Davis, Sammy Davis Jr., Nathan Milstein, and Alwyn Nicolais. 1988, Alvin Ailey, George Burns, Myrna Loy, Alexander Schneider, and Roger L. Stevens. 1989, Harry Belafonte, Claudette Colbert, Alexandra Danilova, Mary Martin, and William Schumann. 1990s–1990, Dizzy Gillespie, Katharine Hepburn, Rhys Stevens, Jules Stein, and Billy Wilder. 1991, Roy Acuff, Betty Comden and AMP, Adolph Green, Falyard and AMP, Harold Nicholas, Gregory Peck, and Robert Shaw. 1992, Lionel Hampton, Paul Newman and AMP, Joanne Woodward, Ginger Rogers, M. Estislav Rostropovich, and Paul Taylor. 1993, Johnny Carson, Arthur Mitchell, Georg Solti, Stephen Sondheim, and Marianne Williams. 1994, Kirk Douglas, Aretha Franklin, Morden Gould, Harold Prince, and Pete Seeger. 1995, Jacques D'Amboise, Marilyn Horne, B.B. King, Sidney Poitier, and Neil Simon. 1996, Edward Albee, Benny Carter, Johnny Cash, Jack Lemmon, and Maria Tolcher. 1997, Lauren Bacall, Bob Dylan, Charlton Heston, Jesse Norman, and Edward Villella. 1998, Bill Cosby, Fred Ebb and AMP, John Kander, Willie Nelson, Andre Previn, and Shirley Temple Black. 1999, Victor Borge, Sean Connery, Judith Jameson, Jason Robards, and Stevie Wonder. 2000, Mikhail Baryshnikov, Chuck Berry, Placido Domingo, Clint Eastwood, and Angela Lansbury. 2001, Julie Andrews, Van Cliburn, Quincy Jones, Jack Nicholson, and Luciano Pavarotti. 2002, James Earl Jones, James Levine, Cheetah Rivera, Paul Simon, and Elizabeth Taylor. 2003, James Brown, Carol Burnett, Loretta Lynn, Mike Nichols, and Itzhak Perlman. 2004, Warren Beatty, Ossie Davis and AMP, Ruby Dee, Elton John, Joan Sutherland, and John Williams. 2005, Tony Bennett, Suzanne Farrell, Julie Harris, Robert Redford and Tina Turner. 2006, Zubin Mehta, Dolly Parton, Smokey Robinson, Steven Spielberg, and Andrew Lloyd Webber. 2007, Leon Fleischer, Steve Martin, Diana Ross, Martin Scorsese, and Brian Wilson. 2008, Morgan Freeman, George Jones, Barbra Streisand, Twyla Tharp, and The Who. 2009, Mel Brooks, Dave Brubeck, Grace Bumbry, Robert De Niro, and Bruce Springsteen. 2010, Merle Haggard, Jerry Herman, Bill T. Jones, Paul McCartney, and Oprah Winfrey. 2011, Barbara Cook, Neil Diamond, Yo-Yo Ma, Sonny Rollins, and Meryl Streep. 2012, Buddy Guy, Dustin Hoffman, Led Zeppelin, David Letterman, and Natalia Makarova. 2013, Martina Arroyo, Herbie Hancock, Billy Joel, Shirley MacLaine, and Carlos Santana. 2014, Al Green, Tom Hanks, Patricia McBride, Sting, and Lily Tomlin. 2015, Carole King, George Lucas, Rita Moreno, Seiji Ozawa, and Cicely Tyson. 2016, Martha Argerich, Eagles, Al Pacino, Mavis Staples, James Taylor. Prospective honorees who declined, cancelled or postponed. Pianist Vladimir Horowitz was to be an honoree, but the selection committee withdrew the offer when Horowitz conditioned his acceptance on being honored alone and at 4 in the afternoon. Actress Katharine Hepburn declined the committee's first offer, though she relented in 1990, when considering Irving Berlin for the 1987 awards because of criticism for overlooking him. The center was informed that Berlin wanted to be honored only if he surpassed his 100th birthday. Also, he was in failing health, being confined to a wheelchair following a series of strokes, and could not attend a public event. The center instead chose to pay special tribute to him at the 1987 gala. He died in 1989. Paul McCartney was selected as an honoree in 2002, but was unable to attend because of an inescapable personal obligation: his cousin's previously planned wedding. After initially saying that McCartney's award would be postponed until the following year, the Kennedy Center announced in August 2003 that Paul McCartney will not be receiving a Kennedy Center honor. McCartney later became a 2010 honoree. In November 2015, 1 month before the actual ceremony, the Eagles postponed their honors until the following year because Glenn Frey had intestinal problems that required major surgery and a long recovery period. Despite their absence, they were still honored in 2015 via a performance of Desperado by country singer Miranda Lambert. Glenn Frey died on January 18, 2016, though the center made him and the 3 surviving members the 2016 honoree.